What's up, guys? Let's go ahead and do another review. I'm just going to try and push out as many reviews as possible for the rest of the year, just because there's no real reason other than I pretty much can. So today we got another product from Trade Union Supply Company. It's going to be their texture dust. Last time we took a look at their, I believe, texture clay as well as their plant-based paste. Those two work pretty well for my type of hair, mainly because it's a fairly dry product with high hold. What kind of won me over was the scent. I just really enjoyed the scents that they put in both of those. So a lot of promise for their texture dust. Gonna kind of approach this similar to how we did what was it called, Black Bean Groceries Dilo powder. Kind of combined it with 3 Beans pomade, and just to show you guys what kind of versatility that the product has in terms of coming in as a powder. So first we're going to be taking a look at the powder alone to see what that can do. Combine that with I'm going to go with their texture clay just because that's my preferred product. See how those two kind of work in conjunction with one another. And then there's also the possibility of using it as a face mask. I don't know how that's going to go, mainly because I haven't tried it either. Kind of scared, but gotta risk it for the biscuit, and I'm pretty much just going to show you guys how it works. Not a huge professional in skincare, but my skin is fairly sensitive, so this is going to be quite a risk. So stay tuned for that probably at the end of the day, because that makes the most sense. So let's go ahead and take a look at the jar, application process, and then initial thoughts on it. Then we'll combine it with the texture clay, see how it lasts throughout the day, and then just take a look at the endurance, and then pretty much the whole face mask kebab. So jar time. We see that it comes in a 2-ounce amber glass vial. We have an aluminum lid as well as a sticker label all around. Applications, we have it as listed: dry shampoo. Ooh, I totally forgot about that. You guys are essentially going to join me for my nighttime shower and skincare routine. And then we have it as a styling powder as well as a clay mask. And then essentially the design of the whole product fits along with the whole Trade Union Supply line. So props on that to keep it consistent. We don't get a crazy little insignia this time, but we get a nice cool Trade Union Supply logo. We have a little bit about what the product is as well as the ingredients. One thing I should mention is that it's mainly kaolin and bentonite clay. I don't know which one is more predominant, but overall it is going to be a clay product. Let's go ahead and do application. So with the application of most powders, it's going to be very messy. So word of caution on that. It's a powder, so not much to show on that. So one thing you can do is kind of moisten the product up a little bit so that it doesn't pretty much fly all over the place and get essentially dust everywhere. I'm gonna do about 2 shakes, so I don't know if you guys can see that, about that much. And you already see that the product is kind of providing a little bit of hold on my hair. Application process, pretty easy, fairly messy, kind of expected, but can easily reduce that with a little bit of moisture. So it's a very minimum hold. If you guys can kind of see the responsiveness of it, it provides a very light hold. I'd say a light to medium, dependent on the length of your hair, but as of now it's providing me a very light hold. Still something, if you needed your hair to be textured, it still has that kind of functionality to it, which again is the primary functionality of it. But you're able to kind of texturize your hair if necessary. Thought it'd be a good opportunity to show you guys now that my hair is slightly shorter. A little crop top. Not at James's level yet, but we'll see. So I guess fairly nice texture. Very light hold, very matte finish. Essentially, this will pretty much last all day until you either sweat or essentially get a lot of moisture on it to kind of wash away the product. As of now, we get a good foundation for applying like a second product if necessary. Essentially what you're doing is creating like a very dry foundation. You already have a little bit of hold on it. Essentially you're just adding more clay to the product. So we'll see how it responds to texture clay. So I pretty much go out, excuse me, I pretty much go out like this. It's not too crazy. Kind of just leave my hair down. That could essentially work. So one more look at the texturizing. We'll go ahead and use about 1 scoop of the texturizing or the texture clay. Totally forgot to mention the scent of the powder itself. It's listed as a lavender, blood orange, and cedar. What I get mostly is the cedar and blood orange with a very light hint of lavender at the end. So not overpowering at all since it's a fairly dry product. You're not going to get too much of the essential oils in there. But coming from the jar itself, you'll definitely get a good whiff of it. All right, so applying the textured clay, it does feel a lot lighter with the powder already in there. I assume that's just because it makes the hair a lot more like floofy, or it's just absorbing a lot more of the moisture from the textured clay. The texture powder itself, I don't know if I'm getting like exponential texture, but right now it does feel very light in a way, like it feels natural. It doesn't feel like there's a product in my hair, but I do get the feeling that there's a good amount of control there. So good separation, good texture, fairly solid hold. I'd say it's a medium to strong hold. I think with the textured clay, it varies dependent on probably just how oily your hair is. Typically, the drier it is, the better the clay works. But if there's already buildup in there, it also works fairly well. All right, so the combination of two products seem to work fairly well. It's fairly natural to like matte finish. I get more of like a strong to medium hold, barely any shine, and then the scent is predominantly the texture clay at this point, which again was, I think, the amber and lavender, and this time it's definitely more amber than anything. So definitely a good combination so far. We'll see how it lasts throughout the day. Sorry, I'm just checking. Looks pretty damn good. So let's go ahead and get throughout the day and see what happens. I am going out today just because I do need to get a car maintenance, and I guess that is a very close simulation of what normal life could be, but at this time it's still quarantined. So long story short, see you guys in a bit. All right, let's go ahead and do a little face wash. Turns into this weird looking paste, kind of like the clay masks that are pretty much on the market. Smells pretty good. I'm just gonna try it on my nose, see how that goes. Cool. Now things have dried off a little bit, probably like 2-3 minutes. Let's go ahead and wash things off and see what it does. So very similar to like the African clay masks, they're fairly popular on the market. I use that pretty much once a month. Kind of performing about the same. So definitely a good sign. Ooh, big old pimple. All right, so you guys just saw me creating the paste, like a very small amount of it. Just wanted to show you guys like how it performs just like on my nose where a lot of blackheads are. So that's usually a point of like a lot of oils. Right now my face does feel very dry. This whole process is very similar to the Aztec clay mask that's like super popular on Amazon. Similar process, you can use like apple cider vinegar or just plain old water. In this case, both are clays. They essentially, when they dry up, I think what they do is they kind of just pull out all the oils from your face and all the moisture. So, quote unquote, it cleans things. So you definitely gotta use like a moisturizer after. Right now, my face does feel very dry. So that's a good sign that things have been cleaned. As for the functionality of a dry shampoo, my hair doesn't feel like there's been too much of a buildup at the end of the day after a shower of just rinsing with water. So this is definitely a good substitute to have. What are you doing, bro? Yeah. Welcome my little boy. He's a little tweaker. But what do you call it? Dry shampoo does help kind of facilitate the process of not having to shampoo like pretty much every day. You can probably use this on like day 2 or 3, and then maybe shampoo once or twice a week. Good alternative. For me, definitely use it when my hair feels a lot oilier. It does pull out a lot of those oils and just create like a more natural feeling. Like, I don't know, what are you doing? A more natural just end result. So there you guys have it. That's the texture dust, and we'll go ahead and do the texture spray next and see how that performs. I might just combine all 3 to get the ultimate texture combination. So stay tuned, take care, and I'll see you guys later.